What's going on, everybody? Mr. Octagonal here, and I have a quick video regarding MLB The Show 20. Not only what I plan on doing here for this channel, but basically giving a rundown of what the game is going to look like. Maybe help you determine if it is a good purchase for you and if you would consider buying it. And I'm also uploading this video because I don't have another one ready for today. So, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. And I guess it's apparent that we might as well look at the gameplay first. And at least graphically wise, I think the game will look... I mean, there probably will be some minor touches that are added every year. But for the most part, I think the graphics will be rather similar. The scoreboards, they always change every year. I think this year is going to be no different. But other than that, for the most part, a lot of the things graphic-wise will remain the same, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because MLB The Show has done a really nice job with the graphics in the past few years. So I think that's certainly not a concern. Looking at some of the new additions to the gameplay itself, there are new fielding mechanisms. I think this is mainly important in the outfield because it's not for certain and it's not really as easy to just track a fly ball. It takes a little bit more strategy now, which I think is really good. And players are more likely to maybe delay for a ball if they're not as good of a fielder. And it seems like attributes matter a lot more this year than previous years. So, like, an elite defensive outfielder may charge a ball quicker and they have better instincts than an outfielder who isn't as good on the defensive side of the field. So, I like that attributes do matter. Here's an example of someone who got to the ball a little bit too late, and now it goes by his glove, and instead of an out with him catching it, there it's going to be a single for deflecting it, but if it goes by him, it's probably going to be at least a double, maybe more, depending on the ballpark or the arm strength of the fielder. So certainly, I'm happy to see that added into the game. Another change to gameplay was the pitching meter. I'm not as familiar with it. I'm going to have to see it when I get my hands on the game tomorrow. But I know they added something with pitching. And then a new hitting mechanism. This idea called perfect, where if you get good contact and good power. Now, getting a perfect is supposed to be very rare, only happening probably about 2% of your at-bats. And depending on the player, if it's a ground ball hitter, you're going to have a strong grounder or a liner past one of the infielders for a single. But if this is an all-around power hitter, maybe a guy like Cody Bellinger, it's more likely to be a home run. So I like that the perfect can really get you a perfect swing. And I think the great thing about it is you can still hit home runs and have really nice hits without the perfect. And then even with the perfect, you can still get out. So having variety, I think, is very important and very good. So I think the new hitting idea with the perfect, the new pitching mechanism, and then the fielders changes, I think, add to a more realistic element of the gameplay, and it adds a little bit more of a strategy and a challenge to the gameplay, which I think is very important because I don't like simple gameplay. And I think baseball is a strategic game. We're seeing analytics becoming more and more popular. So I think trying to have some strategy in it is very important and can make the game a lot more funner. So that's my stance on the gameplay. I think it's a really, all of these additions are going to be really good. So now looking at some of the new modes. I'm not really a Diamond Dynasty person, but I figured I'd highlight the new Showdown mode briefly. So this is a 10-round draft where you'll choose a couple of superstar players, and then you have to go through certain challenges. Maybe you go through a game, maybe you have a certain moment. Sort of a collection of different Dynasty modes the past few seasons that they've added, really combined into one with a 10-round draft. So I think for the Diamond Dynasty player, this could end up being pretty fun. And then, other than that, not too much other additions, except for the big one for the franchise players, relocation, and then Road to the Show. We'll start with Road to the Show. They didn't change too much. I think the main thing is player relationships, which I really like. I'm also not a huge Road to the Show player. I might do it this season. But I think building friends building enemies, whether it's a teammate or not a teammate. I think that's really important, and it adds another level of realism and strategy. They also added improvements to March to October. I did not touch March to October last year. I think I probably will this year. But I think it seems like they added more options for you. Obviously, it's a one-year thing where you don't really go through a whole franchise, but from what I know, they added more simplicities when it comes to trading players, and it just gives you an all-around more customizable feel. So I think the additions to March to October are going to be very beneficial, and they might swing someone like me, more of a hardcore franchise player, to really give it a try this year for fun, whether it's like a Twitch series or just off camera. I don't really know. But I do think March to October and Road to the Show are both seeing good improvements, and I think they could be really, really fun modes. And then, of course, the big one, relocation. The main reason why I get sports games is to play the franchise modes. That's where you'll see a lot of my content directed in. Of course, I'm going to be starting a franchise on MLB The Show 20. I just revealed the team a couple days ago. It is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that will be starting tomorrow. But no realism from me quite yet. I'm also going to have another surprise series. I don't know if I'll start that tomorrow or within the next few days. It may or may not involve relocation. I just want to see how good the relocation is for me personally. But I do think it will be good for a lot of the players. So it's very similar to Diamond Dynasty. The logos, I think, are already pre-made. So I don't think you'll be able to make your own logos. I might be wrong about that. And then the uniform creation is similar to Diamond Dynasty. As you can see, there is going to be a logo vault. Unfortunately, there is going to be no create your own ballpark. You're just going to have to choose between the current Major League ones and then the minor league ones and the classic ballparks, which sucks because for relocation, I was really looking forward to a build your own ballpark mode, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I think what MLB The Show wanted to do is really just set in stone a basic relocation here for this year, and the next year, MLB The Show 21, which is likely going to come out on Xbox and the Switch, and that's probably when the PS5 will be out. I think they're going to make better additions to relocation, like create your own ballpark, and I think they're going to make it more like how 2K's is, as NBA 2K definitely does have the best relocation for any franchise mode. Madden sort of restricts your customization by having the teams pre-made. Then MLB The Show, it seems like he can only do so much. Can't really do logo creations or making your own ballpark. But other than that, I think relocation is on the right foot. It's not going to be crazy this year, but I think down the line within the next few years, relocation is going to be really, really good. And then don't forget about the full minors rosters. They are implementing that right away. So if you want to start a full minors roster franchise, you can start right away, which is a great luxury to have because it is important to have the real life prospects. And I think that does add a layer of realism. A lot of the top prospects are also going to have face scans, which is really, really good that they're already going to be scanned in the game. So I'm personally pretty excited about that. So before we conclude, I figured I would share what I plan on doing here on the channel when it comes to content. As I mentioned, the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise, that'll be the main MLB The Show 20 series I have going, but I also have a few other ones planned. I'm going to do rebuilds again. I sort of tailed off on those really for the last 6 months when it comes to MLB. So I do want to bring those back, and then I'm going to start a surprise series. Not going to reveal anything in here. Once again, may or may not involve relocation. Then I also plan on doing some stuff on Twitch. I'll leave my Twitch link in the description if you are interested, because I do think if you want to watch some more MLB The Show content, I think that could be pretty good. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are excited for the game. I know I am. Have a good one. Peace.